Welcome back to Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura, the stuttering guitarist. It's another guitar day, and it's a tone report on the white Sparkle Stallion prototype. Welcome back. I've got another prototype today. This is the second one that came from the guitar trade show that was done in Las Vegas. So this one's very unique in the Stallion line because obviously you don't have the three pickups, you have just two humbuckers and they're open. So very, very simply, neck, middle, and bridge. So there's a nice wide gamut of tones, and even it's just a passive interface, very, very simple setup with a very usable volume knob. And this is one of those great just pick it up and go guitars where you're not going to be fiddling with it. You know exactly what you've got. You know exactly how you're going to play. A Tele Feel three-way switch. The cosmetics on this, so obviously you have the white sparkle body. You can see that a little bit in there in the headstock as well. So the treatment of these, and I haven't really gone into this, but when we decided to go with the sparkle paint, it's a very intensive paint job to get. So the shop out in Vegas, they have the paint shop they use. They superheat the wood. The paint has metal flake in it, and it helps it bond to the wood in a very different way. But that's why you get that kind of glassy automotive type sheen. You think of car shows. I always love some of the late 50s and 60s Corvettes where you've got that sparkle. The sparkle paint just adds kind of that cool vintage car feel. Since it's such a simple layout, I can go into a little more detail. So there's 6 adjustable saddles. That's on this single piece bridge where the humbucker hangs. So it's a big piece of metal. I feel like you get better sustain with that, and it's always a toss-up for me between the barrels and the saddles. So intonation and usability, there's just a lot of reasons to go with this design, but I'll be just as quick to love the barrels, but the intonation on this is a bit easier. You've got the nut is well done there. Maple neck, 10-inch radius, vintage fret height. You've of course got the tint, and then I love the matching headstock paint. The body, there were 2 of these done, this and the Decibel Boost version in Swamp Ash. So you can see the back grain, that's why it's translucent, is to show off the grain. It's a 2-piece body, so you've got the cap there, you can see the seam, and then the back is actually really well joined. You have trouble seeing the seam on it, but different resonance. Obviously more of a traditional hollowing out process than the others. The signature F again, and then the knurled knobs on this, really just a bit of an extra treat visually, and I love the feel of them. So, very simple design. I'm going to go through some tones. I do really enjoy playing this. Again, just simple, passive 2 humbucker. So I'm going to go with some neck tones here. distortion in the bridge position. In the middle. Then in the neck. A little bit of single note stuff, distorted still. In the middle position. And then in the bridge. So really everything you want, the nice thick humbucker feel. I absolutely love playing these. So much of it is just the way, the feel. It felt like that's something that we really got right, was the positioning for practicing. And of course you can move it if you want that more traditional side feel. But I always like having the fretboard in front of me like that. So anyway, I've really enjoyed demoing these one-offs for you. Not sure what the future holds for these guys, but it was a pleasure to be part of the process. These Margesa pickups, they're hand wound at the shop. Daniel and the team do a great job with these. Just something special and unique that when you get into a guitar, into designing and picking components, having hand wound pickups that respond differently just make the process so much more special. So thanks again for everyone who's tuned in. This has been a lot of fun. I've got another lesson coming on modes, and I will be posting that soon.